Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another COVID-19 update in the swimming pool industry. And we have Dominick Mondi from the NESPA, again, Northeast Pool and Spa Association. You can see that they've got an incredible website up behind me here. And Dominick, tell us what's going on in the Northeast right now and what you're finding out.
Sure. So a couple things up top. Again, I don't like to do these things without saying thanks to you guys for the opportunity. Also want to say real quick as I run through these updates and you look at the website behind you, there's a team of people over here, both on staff with NESPA and leaders in all 4 of our chapters that have been working to compile this information. So you guys have been very gracious to give me this opportunity to speak, but I'm speaking kind of with a lot of people behind me pulling information together. So there's a lot of people working for the industry right now, and just want to make sure I mention that. Since I talked to you guys on Sunday, a couple of things. First is, I know you're speaking with other association heads. Maybe Sabina mentioned it. We've all been in not just regular communication, we've had group conference calls with a lot of the major state level associations and PHTA to share information and collaborate. That's been an exciting thing to sort of see everybody with a real cooperative spirit to help the industry. Here locally in the Northeast, couple updates. In New Jersey and Connecticut, at this point, we have some pretty clear guidance that pool companies, at their discretion, can operate both construction and service industry. In Connecticut, there's actual language written into the guidance documents from the state that the pool industry is exempt or is considered essential, I should say. In New Jersey, there's categories within their guidance that our industry would fall under. And at the same time, we have some communication from the state itself saying that outdoor services and construction are permissible. That's good news for people that want to operate in those states. Now, I've talked to a lot of folks who have received that information and made business decisions to shut down for 2 weeks, to close long enough to clean their facility. Everybody's got to make decisions for their own business, both for the safety and welfare of their employees, themselves, their customers. But I have to be careful not to use the word legal, from an interpretation of what's been put out perspective, New Jersey and Connecticut has a lot of room to operate if businesses choose. Now, if Randy says hi for a minute and everybody sees him, you'll see that our website is up behind him. We tried to make things straightforward. So there's a lot of information we're compiling, and we'll continue to compile it. But we started to segment out by state, because that's where a lot of people have questions. I'm from Connecticut, I'm from New York, what do I need to know? So we're compiling that information for pool companies to use in those areas as they make their own business decisions.
This resource too, Dom, I just wanted you to see is really, I was surfing through it as you were chatting, and there's a lot of great information, and it not only for the Northeast, but I think you guys have put together some really neat stuff that we could even use here in California. So appreciate this resource that you've got here.
And for the 3 people that may not know where your website is, can you just tell them what the address is?
Our main website is nespapool.org. That's NESPAPOOL.org. And right at the top is a link to our coronavirus page. And then, like I said, it breaks down by state from there. And in addition to the state, there's resources that PHTA has put out that we've linked to, as well as the CDC information and other stuff that, like Randy said, applies beyond just our region.
So what do you see? We keep asking everybody the same question. Do you see anything coming down the road, 24, 48, 72 hours, that is exciting, is concerning? I know we've been kind of keeping a pulse on the whole country, and it seems like yesterday was a little bit more dicey, and people didn't really know what was going on yesterday, but we're starting to get some clarity today. I see Florida is opening back up, where it looked like they were going to close yesterday. In California here, we still actually do have some municipalities closing that we're working on. But it seems like it's encouraging for those that want to go to work, that they have the ability within our industry.
So looking ahead a little bit, in New Jersey and Connecticut, yeah, and we have like I said, memos up there that people can look at with specific language and reference behind what I'm saying. In other areas, in Pennsylvania and New York, it's still a little gray. On a phone call this morning with a lot of our leaders in New York State and on Long Island, trying to give some clear message to the industry with regards to construction, what types of construction, and whether or not service can continue. In Pennsylvania, it remains clear that all construction is stopped at every level. It's not a pool industry thing. It's a construction is clearly identified as not allowed to work. For whatever it's worth, in Delaware, they issued similar guidance recently, and they say construction is wide open. So for whatever reason, PA has decided that construction is not going to be essential. What's coming down the line is a little bit of what we talked about on Sunday seems to be coming true, in that most of the states in our region anyway have sort of hit where they're going to be. They're not going to get too much more restrictive than this. And if they do, then it's kind of a full shutdown. This seems to be where most states were leading. Because of that, we're working towards clarification. As far as some things to be concerned about, you want to think of it as concern, or at least to be aware of as business owners, especially your service and construction companies, is what's coming with that is also further guidance for health officials and law enforcement as far as how to police activity that's non-essential, and also guidance for employees. New York State Attorney General put a page together specifically for what employees should do if they feel that the company they work for is open for business and shouldn't be, if it's a non-essential business and they're operating anyway. So that's just something that business owners should be aware of. That's New York, but that's going to happen everywhere, right? If you're acting in good faith with good information, trying to keep some people employed and trying to service your customers, do it right, do it smart. If you're in a situation where you shouldn't be operating and you're taking advantage of the situation anyway, it's good caution to know that states are looking at enforcement and looking at strengthening employee and worker rights around everything that's going on.
Yeah, and I just want to reiterate, we talked a bit about it with Sabina this morning, just that the reality is that we're not saying whether anybody should or should not be opening their doors. All we're
Correct.
giving is the legal information. Well, that the some interpretations of what we're seeing. And again, this is not, nobody's giving legal advice here. We're just saying and keeping updates, letting everybody know, hey, this is the letter of the law. This is where the information lies, but you have to make your own decision as a business owner whether you feel comfortable having your employees work, and really it's the employees that should be making that decision as well. I think you stand some real danger as a business owner if you're forcing your employees to come in, and so my company, we have chosen to give the employees full freedom, and they can choose whether to come in or whether to stay home. We don't know what the extenuating circumstances are. If I have a guy that's taking care of his 70-year-old grandmother at home and she already has, health issues, forcing that individual to come to work would be, that would be not advisable by any means. So we really just want to encourage everybody to really look at this broadly, and this is a dangerous situation, and so we're giving you the information for you to make the most informed decision, but we're not telling anybody what to do by any means.
Agree 100%, Dave. We say the same thing from our side, and we just want everybody to have the tools to make good, smart decisions, in the pool industry. So the more information we can present, every business is structured differently. It's not to say, we're talking to, pool maintenance and pool construction companies. They're like snowflakes. None of them look the same. Everybody, your back office, your front office, your operations, your crew sizes. I mean, all of how you run your business needs to be run through these filters, and then you make the best decision, for you and your team.
Dom, what are you seeing as far as supplies up there? We're hearing is some shortages of bleach, or are you guys, or your retail outlets, or are you supplied to keep maintaining the pools, or your retail stores still rolling? Is everything supply chain wise?
So I heard yesterday on a call that certain types of, let's say liquid chlorine is becoming tighter as more and more those supplies are being funneled to non-traditional sources for disinfectant and things like that. Not running out, but maybe longer delays as far as being able to get some of that stuff. Most of the distributors around here are trying to stay open, but they're being impacted by the business activity being down, obviously, because even though in a lot of areas people can work, a lot are choosing not to. There are customers saying that I don't want you here right now, or I'm going to delay my contract. So obviously, as business slows, that impacts distribution as well. We have had a couple of manufacturers in different areas that I've heard from that have had to pause their operations for at least their manufacturing operations for a period of time. So there is some impact up the line that hopefully, I guess how extreme, what the impact is on that will depend on how long a lot of this goes.
Yeah, no, you mentioned Pennsylvania and that construction is being shut down. But we're also going to release this on the Pool Pro page, which is a lot more the service professionals in the industry. And so, what are you seeing in those states as far as the maintenance side of things? Are you seeing similar shutdowns across the board for the different areas, or is that starting to loosen up or tighten up?
So in Pennsylvania, the construction is pretty black and white. The service is a little gray. It seems that Governor Wolf is utilizing the Homeland Security guidance that PHGA has issued some clarification on as his source for how he's making some of his determinations. I believe he's trying to bring his documents in line with those recommendations. That would allow for at least the potential for some service work to continue. I'll say the same thing that I said before, though. I think that companies that are acting in good faith will have some latitude, and I think that companies that are looking to take advantage of a small window to do a lot of work, could find themselves in a pinch. I have heard about enforcement activity in both New Jersey and Pennsylvania, service trucks getting pulled over and by state police, just asking questions, where they're going, what they're doing. So if you think you're essential, if you read through the documents that are on our webpage, the documents that the state has put out as far as guidance, and you think that you're essential to work, it's going to be really important that your employee has a letter from you on company letterhead that he's working, that you include some justification in that as to why you think you're essential under the state rules.
Yeah, and that really that's mirroring what we talked with Sabina this morning about as well. Is just there is documentation out there available, and we're seeing that kind of played out quite a bit, as that people are printing them, giving them to their employees, having them in their trucks and everything. So that's great advice. So I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So the only other thing sort of along those lines that has been some consensus advice, and we're working to pull some suggested ideas together around this, is if you are working, make sure you're talking to your staff and your employees about a couple of different things. If you get contacted by, if one of your employees gets approached by a government official, whether it's a police officer, health official, or whatever, make sure you're giving them clear guidance on what you want them to say, what you want them to do. Is there a number back at the office they should call? How hard do you want them to sort of push their position? You want them to just walk away, come back to the shop, and you'll deal with it later. Make sure they know, so you don't create a situation where your company gets a bad reputation or something happens and create an interaction that's not good. Customers too, I'm sure other people have said this to you guys, just because you have a contract that you signed 2 months ago to start doing service, don't assume people want you on their property right now. They may, and call them and go out and service their pool if you can, but do the right thing. Make sure that you're having good open communication with your customers. So again, you don't get in a situation where, with without approaching you, they're just calling the cops and saying, I didn't authorize this person on my property. You have a situation. And then the third piece of that would be the media, right? If you get contacted as an individual company by a media source, because obviously a lot of people are talking about this, there's going to be all kinds of local reporters looking for stories, looking for angles, looking to debate essential versus non-essential. Make sure your company knows, whoever's answering the phone, who am I directing media inquiries to? Who can answer these questions and who shouldn't? And if it's industry related, questions beyond just your business, don't be afraid to connect them with either your local association, your PHDA representative, or someone who can sort of speak locally, so you're not putting yourself on the spot.
He is Dom Mondi. He does represent the Northeast Pool and Spa Association. He has put together an incredible website, which is at NESPAPOOL.com. Great advice there to keep us going. One more thing, Dom, what do you got?
.org, not .com.
.org. Thank you. .org. NSPAPOOL.org. Got it. This is live television. Dom, as always, man, we appreciate all you're doing up there. We know you're working hard to keep the Northeast alive and moving, and we're going to come out of this the other end. We look forward to talking with you again. Check out his website, guys. Check this website out. It's got a lot of great information. So we'll see you guys soon. Be good, and we're looking forward to getting this out. Come on, give me my control panel.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Randy.